There'd be some years we'd have 30 deer hanging on this big old pine leaf. I was researching windows. I bet you I sat in 40, 50 different blinds.
Okay.
And so I built these in my shop. I knew exactly what size I needed.
Oh my.
This is called Bogus Valley. There's a naturally reproducing brook trout stream right through there.
Really cool.
That is Bogus Creek, and supposedly at some point there were some people that were counterfeiting money, and the cops had them on the run, and they threw their counterfeit plates into the creek.
Oh, is that where the name comes from?
That's where Bogus supposedly came from. I don't know if it's true or not.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
I think we have 120 acres here. Yeah, I planted these trees when I was 12. They were 12-inch saplings. These blue spruces here.
Really cool.
That is it. So they have garage doors made out of these fiberglass panels.
Yeah.
They're 1/8-inch fiberglass with an 1.5 inches of extruded foam and an 1/8-inch fiberglass. But I just started initially just by stacking them. And then I wanted to do an octagon. The one thing I don't like about blinds is blind spot. I was researching windows. I bet you I sat in 40, 50 different blinds. Whenever I go to a fleet farm, or I'd be driving across the country and I'd see somebody with blinds sitting out, I'd stop and go in them and just see if the windows, I'm a contractor, so I could easily make a lot of windows. But then I saw yours and I saw the prices, and I was really busy last fall. I'm like, I'll never get this thing done unless I buy something that I can just take my saw and rip some rough openings in here, and
that's the idea.
Screw them in. So this was an old gravity box that my dad had used. The way this is built, because it doesn't have a frame, is you put a corner on the inside, a corner on the outside. You stuff your panels between it, drive screws through it, and you sandwich it. You put a bunch of construction adhesive on it. You buy something that's really flexible, because when this thing goes down the road, it's doing a lot of shaking around. So it's just basically sandwich construction, and then I just put a flat roof on it, and you can buy scraps of rubber membrane roofing.
Yeah.
You just go up there with a roller, you roll it out, you put the stuff down, you roll the bubbles out, you stretch it over the edges, and should last 30, 40 years.
Perfect.
I just bought some basic shelving brackets and put some shelves in here. These are fold down, so you can if you don't want the bracket, you can just put it down.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
If you want a shooting rest, you put it up and it automatically locks. Same over here. Bunch of cheap square carpet. I think I bought them for 59 cents at Menards.
Yeah, like outdoor use carpet kind of.
And they have self-adhesive on the back. I was running out of time last fall, and I bought $6, $7 worth of carpet, threw them down, ran a razor blade knife around the edge, and bought some black. I didn't get time to black these out, but the blackout, I think, is another feature that
really important.
That I think is really helping me not get pegged.
Okay.
And so I built these in my shop. I knew exactly what size I needed, and then I glued these onto the wall with construction adhesive, and then I got screws that were long enough to go through your flange into the back of this, and once again just use the sandwich principle to hold them together. 4 panels got me up this high. I fit in here, so I didn't go any higher. I didn't just paint on the walls, and it's quiet. But at first I thought I'm like, God, this thing doesn't need to be this big. But once I'm in here, and you got your gun hanging up, and you got your lunch sitting down there, and you got your heater over here. It's just nice to have room to move. The gravity box was free, and as I said, I think I probably could have bought something like that for $250 to $400. I kept track of, and the panels I got were kind of a friend deal. I can't tell you the name of where I got them.
No, we get it.
But I got them, and they were very cheap, and I think I was with your windows were the biggest cost of this blind. But once again, that's the most important part, is being able to see, being able to use them, have them be quiet. And I can't remember, if you take 8 times 80, 90, whatever, and then $300 door, I think I was up to $800 or so from 04 Outdoors.
Yeah, usually when somebody does like a full outfit like this with the door, it can be right around $1,000.
Yeah, that's what
shipping.
That's what I would tell someone to expect is get in under $1,000 for an octagon, and similar size to this, and that's damn good considering how good your product is. Well, the thing I really liked about not having a 2x4 framed wall, or even a 2x2 or a 2x3 framed wall, is that I just built this thing, and then I sat down on a chair, kind of envisioned what I'd be looking at, what my height should be. I just grabbed my little cordless circular saw. I got my level out, I drew out the square on here. Boom, 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 boom. Got my oscillating tool, took out the corners, and I was screwing a window in within 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah, there used to be a limb on this tree, and I think when I was 18 years old, so I'm 59 right now, 40 some years ago, my brother-in-law started bringing a bunch of guys from central Minnesota, and every year that was back when we were not big buck hunters. It was brownish down, and there'd be some years we'd have 30 deer hanging on this big old pine this big old pine limb that a storm since took down. So I just bought some timbers, put them in the ground with concrete, and you can see there's a little trolley on top of that hoist.
Yep.
So you start out on one end, you pull the first deer up. Once you get him up high enough, you hook them on those little hooks with a rope around their neck, and then you let the pressure off. You go over a little bit, you bring the next deer up, and we don't have as big of a group now, but that thing holds about a dozen deer. This was a building that has been here over 100 years, and when we bought the farm, it was a summer kitchen where the women used to do all their canning in the summer.
Okay.
Had a great big cast iron wood stove in it for heating up stuff, and then the back was a chicken coop. And when my parents moved out here, we lost our hunting cabin.
Yep.
So a bunch of us who are contractors would come down and just have work weekends. And
Perfect.
it used to have a lot more bunks in it, but now we're down to a pretty small group, and my mom's got 3 empty bedrooms. It's got water, it's got a toilet and a shower, and
Man, this is all you need. This is great.
yeah. So this is, I think it's 16 by 30, and during hunting season, this is pretty much where I stay because I don't have to worry about muddy boots. And my son shot that when he was 12, so that's kind of
that's a great buck for a 12-year-old.
Yeah, I think this is the first buck I ever shot when I was 12 years old.
Oh, it's awesome to have it.
All the deer are temporarily posted here.
Oh my.
They've got other ones in there. Probably most of these guys' biggest ones probably are here.
Sure. Oh, that is cool.